very embarrassing happened to me the other day. My phone broke, so I had to go to the Apple store to get it fixed. And when the guy was working on my phone, my Flo App popped off. Fellas, this is an app that ladies use to track their periods. Ladies, if you have this app, then you know that the notifications are fucking crazy, right? Yes. So the guy's working on my phone. The notification pops up, ding, and it says, your breasts may be extra sensitive today. He could have said nothing, but instead, he looked at my phone, he looked at me, he looked at my phone, and he said, oh no. And he's right, because if I looked at his phone and it said, your balls may be extra blue today, I'd say some shit too. That's a crazy way to interrupt somebody's day. So he said, oh no, and I said, oh no, that's not about me. As if my phone had synced up with some other woman's period cycle. Like Bluetooth. I don't know, San Francisco, I think we gotta stop giving money to tech, right? Somebody was paid money to write that notification, that's crazy. Another time, that popped up and it was like, ding, you might be feeling extra frisky today. So? Why are you telling me this? Women have had periods for thousands of years, no notification, right? I'm a woman in my 30s, I've never woken up extra frisky and been like, what does this mean? You know? I know what it means. I'm laying an egg. Worried about tech. You never know what they're going to do next. They might combine the Flo App with the Citizen app, you know? It'll just tell you who's bleeding near you, you know? You're like, ugh, heavy flow at this one. We got to keep it moving, you know? It's like the opposite of Grindr. 10 people in this room I'm not having sex with tonight. They wouldn't even call it Flo, they'd call it Shark. I am in my 30s. I'll be dead soon. Being a woman in your 30s sucks for so many reasons, but like mainly the things that happen to your body. Like, okay, fellas, did you know that you hit your sexual peak in your 20s? Did you know this? Sorry. Men hit their sexual peak in their 20s. Women, we hit our sexual peak in our 30s, and that's not fair. Okay, because you're 30 years old, you're trying to settle down, work on your career, and you're the horniest you've ever been, right? Like, I can't stand up too fast because I gotta tuck my clit into my pants. I come home, my man's like, babe, I want a Zoom call, and I'm like, let him watch. The good news is you develop this other character trait in your 30s called self-respect. Fellas, don't worry, you never get it. It's a female trait. Basically, what it means is like this and this aren't on the same page, right? Because this is like trying to make a baby, but this has 33 years worth of data on men, you know? And the more you know about men, the less you want to touch them, you know? But this didn't get the info, you know? This is like a socialist, and this is like no handouts, you know? If you want to stimulate the bottom, you gotta start at the top. That's trickle-down theory, you know? That guy fucking loves econ. He's like, yes, that's a good joke about pussy and ergonomics. You guys are fun. Some other things about me, I'm Latina, no one believes me. There they are. We reached the quota. I'm Latina, if it gets you on my side, you know. It's hard, like, looking like this and being Latina, right? You're not here, you're not there. It's kind of like being bisexual, right? Because people are like, prove it, you know? How many women have you slept with? Or in my case, how many Dodgers games have you been to? Here's the thing, I do a lot of Latino rooms, and sometimes people are excited to find out I'm Latina, right? They're like, what about us, la raza? Until they find out I'm from Argentina, and then they're like, ugh. It's a real Coke Pepsi situation. They're like, that's not what we wanted, you know? We'll take it, I guess. And they're like, what are you, a Nazi? I'm like, actually, I'm a Jew. And they're like, well, just take the water. No one likes Argentina until Messi's playing. And then they're like, we don't see color. Here's the thing all Latino families have in common is our families can't keep secrets. So I was just with my white friend the other day, and she was like, oh my god, my uncle has schizophrenia, but shh, we don't talk about it. And I was like, what? That's crazy. Right? If my mom found out I was schizophrenic, she would use that shit against me. Right? She'd be like, que interesante, 2 people in your head and neither of them have done the dishes. Latinos still have secrets, we have information we save for later, you know? I'll leave you with one more. It's a dark one. Sorry. A lot of people say you shouldn't speak ill of the dead. I think that's the best time to talk about them. God doesn't judge you till the end. Me neither. I'm judging you on 100% of your time. I think that's fair, right? I think it's worse to speak ill of the living. They might find out, you know? So I ran into somebody recently that I knew in high school. He was horrible to me in high school. He said all these horrible things about me. So I ran into him. He had like slut shaming and stuff. And I said to his face, I was like, you're a horrible person. I hate you. I hope you burn in hell. I said that to his face. It was an open casket. I didn't kill him. He had AIDS. Who's the slut now?